Euronews Francois Chignac met and talked with Bience Gawanas at the 17th summit of the African Union, which was held recently in Equatorial Guinea. She is the Commissioner for Social Affairs on the African Commission and reckoned by many to be among the 200 most powerful women in the world. Bience Gawanas, first of all, thank you for agreeing to talk to us on Euronews. My first question is simple. Is there still unity in Africa?
I fought for the liberation of Namibia. And as we know, Namibia was one of the countries that the Organization of African Unity, the forerunner of the AU, really supported and fought for. The liberation of Africa and the liberation of Namibia. So I come to the African Union as someone that benefited from that support. It was very difficult to live as an exile and as a refugee in refugee camps all over the world. But today I'm sitting here as a Commissioner for Social Affairs coming from an independent Namibia. And for me, therefore, the unity of Africa for the development of our continent, for the peace of our continent, and for prosperity on our continent is as important as it was when we were fighting against colonial domination of this continent. So unity, no doubt, is one of the major objectives of the African Union. But we are dealing with 53 countries. 53 countries with different pace of development. We have got, in one country, we already have got so many differences in terms of ethnicity, language, etc. But I want to remain confident.
What is the future for women in Africa?
Firstly, I think I was very privileged to be amongst the first women to serve on the Commission, the African Union Commission. So this is the first international organization in the world where you have got 5 men and 5 women as members of the Commission. I also want to believe that if women see us in those positions, they see the changing face of the organization and hopefully the changing face of the continent. Fortunately, during my lifetime, I had the chance to see a woman becoming a president in Africa. It was a pipe dream. It was something that I thought I would never see. So I want to believe that the more women get involved in the African Union as citizens of this continent, the more our own governments involve women at different levels within government, we will definitely see a move towards it. There's always a saying that says that women do not create conflicts, but they suffer the consequences of conflicts. And therefore, it's important that when we are discussing peace, that women also are part of those discussions. Because across the borders of this continent, women have already forged links. They work together within the women's movement. The women traders cross the borders into each other's countries. So there is a greater unity amongst women on this continent. And if we can, build on that strength that women has got, I want to believe we can make a meaningful contribution.
Yet it is the men who have the power.
African men have to understand that we are equals. And I always want to use the example that we should not forget the history of this continent. That when we were fighting for the liberation of this continent, women were there. They were in the trenches, they were carrying guns, they were battling, and they deserve a better life in an independent Africa. And I've always said that the standard against which we measure equality is not a male standard. I don't want to become a man. I love to be a woman. And I want to be loved as a woman. And I want to be respected as a woman.
In practical terms, what do you want to happen?
I want us to show African women as also being very powerful. Not powerful as orators, not powerful in the visibility, but powerful in their silence, powerful in their villages, in their communities, and making that difference. I think it can be better. I wish I could have this magic wand that I could just blow across this continent and just say, please recognize the capacity of women to make a change on our continent. I don't know whether it will happen during my lifetime.
What inspired you to fight so hard?
If I was a pessimist, I would not have been where I am today. I come from a country called Namibia. I grew up under apartheid. And I was told when I was trying to study that my intelligence as a black child is lower than that of a white child, and that I will never be able to study law. I was 18 at that time. I am a lawyer today. I have decided that the color of my skin and my gender has got nothing to do with my intelligence.
Bience Gawanas, thank you for responding so openly to our questions.
Okay, thank you.